Welcome to Concept Craft. We are presenting step-by-step videos training to crack your certification exam, so you can gain the confidence to take on any accounting challenge. Now let's begin our today's lesson.
Progress Invoicing. Learning outcomes. In this lesson, we'll cover using progress invoicing in QuickBooks Online. Topics. What is progress invoicing? Progress invoicing by creating invoices from an estimate. Progress invoicing by creating invoices directly. What happens to an estimate once you invoice? Other progress invoicing features. Bit by bit. Clients usually use their estimate or quote to generate and send invoices to their customers. However, they may want to invoice their customers at certain delivery points or at regular intervals. In these cases, they need to keep track of how much of the total estimate they have invoiced so far. How can QuickBooks Online help? With progress invoicing, your client can create multiple invoices from an estimate. It allows them to get paid at various stages of the project and to keep their books updated with the project status. It also helps your clients with cash flow so that they can pay their bills in a timely fashion. Let's look at some of the key features and benefits of progress invoicing. What is progress invoicing? Progress invoicing provides a seamless workflow from estimate to invoice to payment. Estimates are turned into invoices by selecting either a total of all lines, a fixed percentage of each line, or a custom amount or percentage of each line. The estimate itself then tracks the percentage of completion, so you can always monitor the project's income status. Progress invoicing allows clients to get paid as part of the project gets done and to keep their books updated with the project status. Because clients are being paid over the course of a job, they have the cash flow to pay their expenses in a timely fashion, not in a lump sum at the end of the work. Progress invoicing can be used as a standalone feature in all versions of QuickBooks Online, or along with the project's features found only in QuickBooks Online Plus and Advanced. Find out more about progress invoicing in this article. Progress invoicing by creating invoices from an estimate. Let's look at how to create an invoice from an estimate. Imagine that your client sent an estimate to a customer. The customer accepted the estimate, and your client now plans to complete the work over the course of a month. Your client wants to use progress invoicing to bill the customer. Start by turning on the progress invoicing feature in QuickBooks Online. Go to Account and Settings. Select the Sales tab on the left. Select the Progress Invoicing section. Use the slider to turn on the Create Multiple Partial Invoices from a Single Estimate option. Select Save, then select Done. Now let's pull up the estimate that was created for the customer. The estimate lists the product and service items that are part of the job. Once the customer accepts the estimate, the client can change its status to Accepted and select Save to update the estimate. Next, create the invoice. To do this, select Create Invoice in the upper right of the estimate. You can now choose whether to invoice for a total of all estimate lines, where all the lines are invoiced at 100% of the estimate. A percentage of each line, where all the lines are invoiced at the specified percentage of the estimate. A custom amount for each line, where all lines appear at 0% but are editable separately. Because the customer agreed to pay 30% to cover initial expenses, we enter 30% as the of each line value and QuickBooks Online shows the value to be invoiced. 3. Select Create Invoice. QuickBooks Online shows the total for each line at this billing point. 4. Select Save. Job done. The invoice is ready to be sent off to the client. Progress invoicing by creating invoices directly. Another way to create an invoice based on an estimate is to start with the invoice itself. To do this, select Plus New, then Invoice. Enter the customer's name, and when you do, a drawer with any estimates for the customer opens on the right side of the screen. If the drawer doesn't open automatically, select the small arrow next to Balance Due. In this case, there's only one estimate. If there are multiple estimates, select those you want to add to the invoice. If needed, you can select more to see additional line items on the estimate. Select Add to add just the estimate. As before, select from the options a total of all estimate lines, a percentage of each line, a custom amount for each line. Then select Copy to Invoice. The invoice is populated with the line items calculated at the defined estimate values, ready to be sent off to the client. What will happen the next time the client creates an invoice based on the estimate? When the client creates another invoice for this customer, QuickBooks Online will take the amount already invoiced into account. It will then allow the client to invoice for the remaining amount on the estimate. If the client isn't ready to do this yet, they can choose to invoice for a percentage of each line, or custom amounts for each line, as before. What happens to an estimate once you invoice? If you or your client opens an estimate after invoicing the customer for part of it, you'll see that there are now columns showing the total amount, the amount that's been invoiced, and the amount that's remaining. The estimate status has changed from pending to accepted if the client created the invoice from the estimate. QuickBooks Online changes this status automatically. However, the client can change this status in the invoice at any time, or when the customer accepts the estimate. This gives them more control over who accepts an estimate, and when. Other progress invoicing features. Progress invoicing offers a lot of flexibility, such as the fact that you can add multiple estimates to one invoice. Let's look at some other things your client can do with progress invoicing. Select each heading to learn more. Increasing individual invoice line amounts. To increase the invoice amount in one or more lines of an invoice based on an estimate. Select the due column on the lines of the invoice you want to change. The due column shows the percentage or amount related to the line item. Overwrite the percentage or amount to be invoiced. In this example, the percentage to invoice for the design line item increases to 60%. Select Save. Note that if the estimate has been fully invoiced, it won't show as available for invoicing. Increasing the total amount of an estimate. There are two ways to increase the total amount of an estimate. Add a line to the estimate, or change the total amount. Create a new estimate for the extra amount, and make a new progress invoice out of it. Deleting a line on a progress invoice. To delete a line on a progress invoice, select the trash can icon on the right side of the line. Select Remove Line in the pop-up window. This removes the line from the invoice and puts the amount back on the estimate. Do not choose Unlink It. That removes all the lines of the estimate for the invoice. If you want to invoice from the estimate, you will have to add the estimate from the drawer on the right again. Adding an estimate summary. Select the gear icon and choose Custom Form Styles. Choose the style that is the default, then select Edit. Select Content at the top, then the activity table on the right. On the bottom left, select Show More Activity Options. Check Show Progress on Line Items. This is optional and will show the calculations on the customer's invoice. On the left side, select the footer section. Check Estimate Summary. Finally, select Done. This shows the estimate number and amount, invoices previously created, the current invoice, and the total amount invoiced. Reporting on Progress Invoicing. The Estimates and Progress Invoicing Summary by Customer report gives clients a complete list of all estimates and connected progress invoices. In this report, transactions are organized by customer. Pro Advisor Tip. Remember that the customer needs to approve any change to the agreed price on an estimate. Summing up. Learning outcomes. In this lesson, we covered using progress invoicing in QuickBooks Online. Knowledge recap. Progress invoicing is a powerful feature that will suit the needs of many of your clients. And of course, your firm can even use it to bill your clients for your services. Next steps. In the next lesson, we'll look at using price rules in QuickBooks Online.